We on? Let's go. I think I might actually know what I'm doing this time. I'm not sitting here holding the camera at the start. Let's go. We're already better off. Cool. All right, let me get on the chat so I can see on my laptop. How did I do that last time? I want to be able to get the chat. Let everybody get on in. What's up, DM Shower Thoughts? What's up, man? Coming over to the live stream. I saw your video today. I liked your video today. What's up? What's up? What's up, Piper? What's up, Payne? Okay, how the heck did I get to the live stream last time? I need to be able to do it. Oh, there we go. And we're good. And we're good. Oh yeah, it's live. All right. I got the stream up. All right, here's how we're gonna do this. I'll go ahead and make this announcement now. Oh, I gotta mute that. There we go. First of all, let me see if I didn't miss anything. Jacob's here, Philip's here, Payne's here, Madam, Anthony, Steven's there. What's up, Daniel? Your DM. Who's your DM, Daniel? DM, Daniel. DM, Daniel. Get it? I'm sorry, we're starting this off on a rough note there with that joke. Woohoo! All right, so here's how this is gonna work. This is gonna be way more professional this time. Way more professional. First of all, where's the? Okay, there we go. Way more professional this time. We are going to have, if you want to have a question, post it in all caps, say question, and then type your question after that. So caps question, ask your question. My patrons are going to scoop up that question and put it in a separate thing for me to be able to look at and see. Let me fix this. Oh, this is bothering me. Oh, okay, cool. I can see more stuff. That's how it's gonna work. So I'm gonna go through my patrons. Instead of going back and forth last time, that was just a mess. Instead of going back and forth, I'm going to, this is still not where I want it. Okay, all right, cool, that's good. Instead of going back and forth, I'm going to answer the questions that the patrons asked, which is, there's only 5 of them, questions, and then I'm going right into the chat. So, and I'm gonna keep trying to look at the chat as we keep rocking and rolling. So, let's go. Daniel, did Daniel say what his DM was? Kennedy, okay, cool. I love whenever players or DMs share this channel with others, or with the other, oh gosh. What is that color? I have to figure out how to fix the color. So got it. Yeah, and that's also the biggest thing to like help grow this channel is that exact thing. That DMs telling players telling DMs, all that stuff. So that's absolutely huge. So I appreciate it. Why do I look like this color? Is there a filter here? Magic button? Huh? No. Whoa, black and white. Oh, this is cool. Bubbles. What? I don't think none of this is not gonna be helpful. I'm gonna go back to normal now. Okay, cool, whatever. All right, anyway, ooh, better, okay. So, we're gonna go right into those questions and bust a move. Caleb. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna go into the first question asked by my patrons. So I'm gonna do the best I can to be in. Can I get this to go away? Why can't that go? Why doesn't that go away? Okay. I'm gonna do the best I can to also be reading chat. So if you want to respond back and forth, you totally can this time, and I will be able to see it because last time I was just buried in questions. So, Mr. President asked how to create a dungeon. And understand how to balance enemies with numbers and all that kind of stuff. The weird thing for me is I don't tend to run a ton of dungeons, like actual literal dungeons where like every other session we're going down in multiple sessions in a dungeon and then we fight a boss and come out. I usually with the world being a world, I try and keep it a little bit more open than that, and have a dungeon be a very unique, special, more rare occurrence, but not too rare to where players are like, come on, I want to do a dungeon. The best way to describe it is I always try and have like 2 big encounters and then maybe like a small one to try and say as far as balance goes, because you have to think of it an adventuring day, how much energy your players have to be able to push themselves through a day. And also keep that in mind when you're making encounters, is if you have the second encounter they're supposed to see in a day, is going to be harder because they're going to have less resources, especially if they expended a lot in that first one. So my dungeons tend to be small, larger worlds. Like the biggest dungeon I ever did was an underground waterfall of an ancient green dragon. It was a abandoned city of a dwarven city next to a giant city across this gap underground, because the city, there's a city on top that was in ruins. Everybody went underground. There was a dragon laying there. So there was like abandoned cities, dragons, dragonborn, a bunch of stuff. So it was a very large, like we were in there for a while. So I kind of shake it up a little bit different like that with dungeons. But next question is how to pull off a satisfying twist. I love curveballs. Especially with my stories, that's one of the favorite things I love to do about DMing is tell a intricately weaved story. Hold on, let me. I said I was gonna look at the questions, but then now I'm like going right into it. Is it okay? It's rolling. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. All right, yeah, perfect. Big thing for my campaign is the one I just ran, so the spoiler's already done. Players, they can hear this now. There were these gods, these 7 gods or these 5 gods that ruled over all these different domains and stuff, but the whole thing was a lie, and they weren't even gods at all. They were actually very powerful individuals who were posing as gods, and that was a big twist. But I made sure, really the short answer is foreshadowing. Like, foreshadowing is literally the key to that, because if you do a twist and you didn't foreshadow, it just feels like you just screwed them over randomly out of nowhere. And you're just like, nope, this is what it's going to be now. Star Wars Last Jedi. Yeah, so don't want to get that's a whole thing right there. Holy crap, wait a second. Luke Hart from the DM Layers here? What? Literally, you are exactly where I got this. Ask the question in chat, and my patrons are doing the thing because I don't have moderators like you do, but they're being my moderators right now. So what's up, man? That's crazy. Luke Hart. Luke Hart is the DM, the YouTube channel that has been my biggest motivation or guiding for, I call him, what do I call you? My hero, right? But yeah, so that's crazy that you're here, man. That's what's up. Anyway, sorry. So, yeah, you gotta foreshadow your twist, or else then you just randomly telling it's different than what it was. Because when you do a twist, they should be able to have moments where they look back on and be like, oh my God, that was it. We actually just did a video collaboration with Steve from Lunch Break Heroes on that topic. So, next question. At the end of your videos, Sven Sprite says, the last question was from Prince of Crows. Sven Sprite says, at the end of your videos, it'd be cool if we did homebrew items. So that, I read that earlier, and I think it would be cool if we did a video on homebrewed items, or even a live stream. In fact, it'd be great to do a live stream where we make homebrewed items. Huh? What do you think about that, DM's Layer? Because he does that too. Yeah, so I would totally do that in a live stream. Maybe the next live stream we do, we homebrew some items together in the chat. Huh? How about that? Oh, that's funny. Okay, questions are coming in too, so I'm gonna get through the rest of these. So homebrewing, Dark Abyss Keeper says, when you homebrew with your bonus level up perk system, do you worry about stepping on other people's toes with other people's classes and abilities? Yes, for sure. Long story short, I bonus level up perks. Every time my players level up, I give them a small little perk. Usually it might be like a revamp of a cantrip, or a little buff here, or a little extra flavor sprinkled in there. Very small things that let them just play their class identity or class fantasy or whatever. But I definitely keep it like, I keep track of what everyone's goals are, what people's like unique things that let them have that moment in the spotlight or opportunity to shine. Let them have that, and I don't want other people to step on that, because a good example is one of the players in my campaign, Warlock. The group doesn't have a healer, and so one of the Warlocks was like, I want to manipulate life and like be able to take life from others and give it to others, and it'd be this really necromancer Warlock version of healing. And I was like, that's awesome, cool, sweet. And another player was like, oh, the spirit world and the dead and stuff. And I was like, okay, this player can manipulate with life at the fringe of life and death and spirits and like death saving throws, or maybe even resurrection once they get stronger. Resurrection video coming soon here in about 2 weeks. Or no, 1 week and a half. Anyway, and the other player could be healing, so that they each had their moments separated. Cool. And let me make sure I'm not falling behind here. Lots of questions. What's up? Luke Hart said, I saw you went live and wanted to say what's up. Keep up the great work. Got to get back to work. Dude, your skits are next level, man. I thought about doing a skit for social distancing and how to play. All these videos are coming out about how to roll 20 and online and fantasy grounds and all this different stuff, and I don't know a lot about that. I have not played on that, so I don't want to make a video just to try and jump on the hype train to get a bunch of, because if I don't know something, because I only want to give you guys like actual good stuff that I know about. So I could make a funny skit about like playing across a glass wall and like playing on the other side or something. I don't know. I thought it might be a funny skit, but you're the king of skits there. So last question that I'm going to get to you guys' questions is Sven Sprite says, how close are you to being monetized by YouTube? Yeah, right now I am not monetized on YouTube. There's two things you have to have, and this is just for any YouTuber. One is 1,000 subscribers. Check, we got that. We're actually at 1,416 now. That's crazy. 400 more than we hit 1,000 not too long ago. So that's one, is you have to have 1,000 subscribers. Done, that's good. You also have to have 4,000 hours of watch time. Ooh, that's the kicker. And you have to do it within a year. That's not gonna be a problem. We have 2,250 hours of watch time so far, which is awesome for such a short period of time. But in order to become monetized, we're actually getting anything from YouTube that I could also go back into the channel, because all of this, the lights, these shelves, a bunch of stuff coming here soon, is all come from my Patreon. My patrons over on Patreon are the only thing that I even have anything coming in for to put back into the channel to keep it going. But yeah, so we're at 2,200 watch hours. So we're halfway there. But as you grow bigger, it gets faster. So I don't know. One of my friends said that what they do every night is, and Terrace in Discord also says every night they go to one of my playlists. I have a Dungeon Coach playlist where it's just all my videos, and they press play on it, plug their phone in, lock screen it, and it just keeps playing. They turn the volume down and they just go to sleep. So anyway, that'll be interesting once that happens, but we're over halfway there. So to the questions now. Yeah, coronavirus is definitely making people learn how to get online and play pretty quickly. So heck yeah. Curfew questions, wicked. Let's make it happen. Heck yeah, man. Okay, so Discord. Boom. Questions. All right, here we go. What are you naming your child? Who asked that? Make sure y'all, my patron people, make sure you say who asked what question. But what are you naming your child? My wife's pregnant. We actually just had another visit today. His name is Talon, Talon, like a dragon's talon, huh? Yeah. Little does my wife know, that's actually why. That's why I went with that, or allowed her. No, it was weird. Like she came up with the name. I'll give her credit to that. She came up with the name, but I instantly was like, "Yep, Dragon Talon, done, got it." Don't tell YouTube to do that. Good question. Oh yeah, I know, Isaiah. Don't tell YouTube that people do that. That's funny. So yeah, I don't know who asked that question, but son's future name's Talon. As soon as he pops out in about 2 months, it's coming up. Another question. What do you think 5th edition needs the most to be better? Oh, man, what do you think 5th edition needs the most to be better? Well, multi-classing is one thing. Just did a video on that. But what does 5th edition need to be better? Like, honestly, like, I've thought about doing a like 6th edition thing, and I that would be like a, a real clickbaity type thing to do. But I think that 5th edition is pretty good. Like, it's pretty great. Like, I love 5th edition. It's in from what I've only played 5th edition. It's the only thing I've ever played, so I'm a little biased there, I guess. But I've definitely done research into 3.5 and 4, and those are really about it. Everything else is I've heard interesting stuff from, and there's definitely things to pull from everything. But I would say I would describe it like this. I don't think anything's wrong with 5th edition. They give you a foundation of rules. It's your job to just take it from there. So, I mean, I'm sure there's a ton of stuff they could add. I mean, I do so much homebrew that I'm not too worried about where 5th edition is, if that makes sense. Like, 5th edition is my inspiration. I got it. I feel it. I learned it. It's good. And then now I'm going to take skill challenges, take minions from 4th edition, buff up some classes and get more customizations from 3.5 edition. Lots of stuff like that to be able to do stuff. But ultimately, a lot of the stuff I do as far as homebrew is for classes and stuff like that. I think one of the biggest things that I think they should get, the DM, like DM's got, not the DM's Guild, Wizard of the Coast need to give DMs is more tools for beginner DMs, more generation tables, more NPC creation help, more stuff like that, more things to be able to handle stuff on the fly. Like, if your players go off the grid, what do? I think they need to add more stuff like that. But ultimately, I'm fine if they don't, because that's why I'm here doing the stuff that they didn't, I guess. Varge says, maybe more customization for PCs in 5e. Yeah, totally. Love it. Love it, love it. Oh, yeah, see, the thing with Pathfinder 2e, whenever Pathfinder 2e came out, the action system there blew my mind. I think it's awesome. It's way different. It'd be, I mean, a lot more, I guess, maybe there's, more grindy or more, too many rolls, all that kind of stuff. I'm sure I could see that happening. But yeah, sometimes actions get a little clunky. That's why I added an interaction to kind of let players kind of do their thing. Whenever I coach players, to be able to have all your bonus actions listed off on the side, like what can you do with your action, what can you do with your bonus action to keep things moving smoothly. So yeah. Anyway, next question. Jacob Lee asks, "What is your favorite color?" Oh, I think that was his description of what a good example question would be. My favorite color used to be red. I had a red sports car, I had a red motorcycle growing up, but it is now purple. So red, right? But it's now, that's why the theme of the channel, if you notice, the theme of the channel is this like dark royal purple. That's my favorite color. So in the future, when we have like a dungeon coach car, it'll just be purple. That's never gonna happen. No, I'm never doing that. Next question. Abyss is a good example of YouTubers. Well, I don't think that's a question. DM Shower Thoughts. Here we go, another question. DM Shower Thoughts is, what edition of D&D was your first? 5th edition was my first one. I think, yeah, I kind of double answered that already in a second ago. But 5th edition is the only thing I've ever picked up and I wish I played sooner. I wish I was able to do this sooner. But in a lot of ways, I think it's kind of nice in some ways that I didn't, because I can now, from like a third person view, look around at everything like a buffet table and take from as much as I want from it. So but that's my first edition. Trying to catch up here. DM's Lair. I'm nervous to read this one. What did you get for the all cap? Okay, yeah, I see what he was talking about. Yeah, so yep, I got it from you, bro. Got it straight from you. So Luke Hart on the DM's Lair. Literally check him out. I know my shout outs are like minuscule in comparison, but he has like 46,000 subscribers last time I checked. I watch all of his videos. He just posted one today. He's been huge. He messages me all the time. We go back and forth in Discord messages, and he has helped a ton with like direction of stuff. Because you can look through YouTube on like, what's the best this and that? How do you do this and that? But like from someone who's done it. So yeah, that's huge. That's huge. So question. I hear an accent in your voice. Who asked this? Who asked this question? What accent are you talking about? I'm from Texas, is what that might be from. I've never really been told that I have an accent, but I'm from Texas, born and raised. So that's where that comes from, Texas. So I do say y'all a lot. I do know I do that, but there you go. Question from Benjamin Blackhurst. Are you looking for any particular theme for this live stream, or just or questions? So, Benjamin, I am going to do future live streams over a topic. Like I have a topic where I do a live stream and we do something, right? I think Sven Sprite had a good one about homebrewing magic items, stuff like that. I'm going to do a community post vote. Is the first thing I'm going to do for this. If you turn on your notification bell, right? If you turn on your notification bell, you are going to be able to be alerted and get all the different community posts that I do. They get almost no traffic whatsoever, so I don't know. We'll see. Your vote would count a lot, because not a lot of people, I guess, see or click on those things, because it gets lost in all the scrolling of stuff. But I'm going to do a community post where there's going to be a vote of what we want, and I'm going to get all that from my patrons. I'm going to ask my patrons what kind of cool things they want to do. You want homebrew items? You want to whatever, homebrew monster? I don't know. Probably going to be a homebrew situation. I would love to do something along the lines of like a class that I've done, and talk about the behind the scenes of how to balance a class, or how to make a monster, or how to make an item, all that kind of stuff. I think that'd be sweet. But I'm going to do a community vote poll on that. So also freaking shout out to my patrons right now. They are killing it in Discord. Join us on Discord. In Discord, I have all my patrons are in a channel, and we have a channel that they are grabbing you guys' questions and putting them there, and then they mark it once I've answered it. This is freaking amazing. We're getting professional here, guys. I need to put that disco dancing thing up there. Question from Caleb Head. Have you ever thought of streaming some of your sessions? Whew, buddy, yes. Once, right now, we just ended the last campaign. It was a 3-year campaign. Level 20, big, huge, entirely homebrew story, world, everything. Over half of them, pretty much all of them were homebrewed classes except for the Paladin. But he even had all those bonus perks sprinkled in there. But anyway, that just ended, and then I started this whole YouTube thing, and it kind of, I'm trying to really do this right now, so I don't have that big campaign going. I do have one campaign going, but right now it's a high school D&D club situation, and so it's my high school pole vaulters have a D&D club that they play in, and that's been really my only session right now. And so we've not played in so long because of all this stuff, and we're not even allowed to meet up for pole vault practice. I coach pole vaulting. That's my job. I'm a math teacher and pole vault coach, so I haven't even been able to meet up with them to coach pole vault, much less have a D&D session. So that's been rough. But to answer your question, I do want to, I don't know about stream, because I think that might eventually we could turn into a stream, but I would want to film it. I would want to film it, and I'd probably chop it to where if we took a break, I could cut it or all that kind of stuff, and then put it out there. And if that was got enough interest or enough likes, I might make another YouTube channel for it. So it would be a definite thing that I want to do, but I probably want to hit 10,000 goal subscribers first. Once we hit 10,000 subscribers, then I think the channel would be functioning enough for me to be able to do that. So I think that's definitely something I want to do. Okay, BC has a question from Houndy. Have you played Legends of Drizzt in your background? Is it good? Do you recommend this style of games? So all of these right here. Is my camera on? My wife was upset last time because my camera wasn't centered. There you go, babe. Sorry. So all of these board games right here, right? They're like first of all, they fit perfectly into these little cubbies. So I have not played a single one of these. Like, not a single one I've played. In the Shadespire, there's a Shadespire box. I have played Shadespire maybe 4 times, 4 games. Anyway, but I got these for miniatures. Freaking miniatures. Like a great example is, where'd he go? Here he is. This miniature comes from this guy right here. This box is like $40, 45 maybe, and you get 40 miniatures. Are you kidding me? Like, that is brilliant. You cannot beat that. This is spray painted. I haven't done any videos on it, but I totally could. But that's not really, I don't know. Would y'all want to see that? About how to do minis, like easy way. I'm not a professional in any means, but it would just be, again, like the theme of the channel, quick and efficient painting tips, right? Yeah, so it's, this is black. This is originally like a maroon color. Actually, you can kind of see the bottom. It's this color at the beginning. I spray paint it black, like pure solid jet black. Let me see the channels here. I'm losing the live chat. 10K, let's make it happen. You heard him, 10K mark. Yeah, Anthony Lore says he wants to see mini painting tips. The only tip we'll throw out right now is it was this color. I spray paint it solid black with a, I could go get the box. It has to be a flat. It has to be a flat primer only, not a paint and primer, just a primer, flat primer. I get them at Walmart. It's black. It's in a white and blue bottle. Anyway, boom, I spray paint it all black, and then I get gray, and after the black's dried, I get gray, and I come at like a 45 degree, or like, kind of like whatever that degree would be. So like 45, so like 40 degree. And I like do a puff of gray around it so that the gray hits on all the spots, and you can see like the underside of stuff is really black, but then right here you can see some gray, and then from the very top with all the same paint, I get a white from the top, and I just go pop, pop, pop. And then it just kind of falls on the highlight parts, and you can see the little tops are highlighted. So anyway, and then when you paint, if I paint red, I would just paint red, and it naturally goes and gradates around the colors. So anyway, super quick tip, quick and efficient tip. So recommend style of games, got it done. Daniel Rees, what do you think of an open world Prohibition era campaign? Oh, Prohibition. It's been so interesting to see campaigns. Is it the white? Oh, okay. My wife says that she wants me to show one of my paintings. So these are my 2 favorites. Okay, and then I'm going to talk about the Prohibition. I got distracted here. This is one of them. I did a little lava base there. It's in a Freety or in a Freet. This is again same stuff I did there. You put there's a whole. Maybe I should do a video on just like a super quick, because it doesn't take. I mean, you can make it take longer, but it doesn't take too terribly long. It's another one, some like frog demon from the abyss. But yeah, so you had the textured paint you can put on there, super glue into a base, all that stuff. Yeah, so thanks, babe. And then I gotta reestablish my background here. Okay, so Prohibition era. I have done a post-apocalyptic theme before, like a nuclear fallout, all that kind of stuff. I've done that before. That was super fun. Prohibition, I think it'd be interesting. But like, what would magic be like? What would your classes would have to, like, if you were a sorcerer, wizard, warlock, cleric, something like that, like, what would those powers look like? I think that'd be super interesting. I have not done. I personally just love the fantasy realm, and like that's where I'm going. And I think the stories you can tell there can be much more grand than like a Prohibition. But I mean, I think it'd be a very unique style of game that does sound interesting, and the creativity of it speaks to me. So that's a good one. Isaiah Kennedy, how do you practice your voice acting? Voice acting. So you can ask my wife. When we go on road trips, I will like talk to myself. In the car, I don't listen to music. I don't listen to music in the car. I just talk to myself. I just say things. If I have a villain coming up, that I know I'm gonna have to do, I'll just be in the car and I'll just be like, oh, you don't even know. And I practice trying to get into it. You don't even know how quickly I can go from talking to that voice and have it be the way that I want. And then like move the voice around your head. So it's like, move it high up and then move it down into your throat and move it forward to the tip of your mouth and move it back into the back. You know what I mean? I probably look like absolute crazy person right now, but that's kind of, I just talk to myself like a crazy person in the car and practice getting into the voice as quickly as you can, right? Because so many times I think the biggest problem I have is while you're DMing, you're talking not like yourself, and then you have to shift into it, and it's hard sometimes to go there and be able to speak, whatever. But yeah, I would just say literally to talk in it, try and talk in the same voice, but with like different accents. So like, this is gonna be awful, but I'm gonna do that voice. I'm gonna do that voice with a British accent. So top of the morning to ya. Top of the morning to ya. Oh, now it's Irish. Now this voice is Irish now. So it's an Irish-speaking villain that doesn't want to touch the Blarney Stone. I kind of got a little dwarvish at the end. Whew, yeah, so, find the voice, move it around your face, push it, turn it on and off quickly, and then try and, make it different. Or, anyway, I could do a video on that, too. I was very fascinated with voice acting at a period of time, and I was going to think about making that move instead of YouTube. But I'm glad I went this way because I just overall think I can help more people this way. Like voice acting would be cool, hard to do but cool, and this is hard to do but cool. But I can actually help people with their games instead of talk weird. But it seems like a super fun career path potentially. Question from Anthony Lore: have you considered, or would you consider doing a homebrew for an epic level characters adopted from 3.5e? Whoo. Epic level characters. I am not familiar with 3.5e at all as far as being able to run it. So I pretty much, as far as me DMing, I would pretty much only do 5e. It's my biggest strength. It's in my wheelhouse. I'm going to be able to be more creative and homebrew more. Since I homebrew so much, I would feel very uncomfortable going to another system and trying to homebrew there and like screwing everything up like I did in 5th edition while learning how to homebrew 5th edition. Because it's a skill that you have to, practice, and I would be very out of practice in another system. But epic level campaigns, you could totally do that. I mentioned it in my multi-classing video about being able to keep going. And if you do bonus level ups, you can keep going, they keep gaining health, they keep gaining stuff. You could totally do that. But in general, I think there's more value to campaigns like levels 1 through 10. It gets a little crazy after 10. So there's some stuff I've been thinking about my next campaign, having it end at 10. And just purposely having it end at 10 and have them take longer to level up, or let the story be the center focus, because a lot of times if characters are past 10, they just break the dang game. They can do so much stuff and they're so strong, they just destroy everything, So that's a whole nother topic though. Anthony Lore has another question. Do you use D&D Beyond, or would you prefer pen and paper? Pen and paper overall for me. I do some stuff online. I do have a laptop that I have behind my DM screen that I have some stuff on. It's more so off to the side. It has music that I play on it. But I'm very much, and I have an app. Do have an app on my phone that I log all my stuff in, and it's also shared on my laptop and phone back and forth. That I have my DM, like crazy DM binder ideas in that thing. But character sheets, 100% pen and paper. It's part of the game for me. I would never do like the scrolling thing. I will say I'm not a player that often, and if given the opportunity, and I would like to try the D&D Beyond thing, because I think there's so many cool resources there, and it is such a great resource, and it's gotten so good over the years. But I'm just a pen and paper person. Honestly, it's probably because that's the way I've done it, and it just feels right. And I'm making little notes off to the side, organize it the way I want. It's a little more fluid because I can put stuff wherever I want it. In fact, I have character sheets that I made myself that are cleared out of a bunch of stuff, and it's a lot more open. I think I have all of those listed. I have I think it's in the description of the 5 things to do for your starting character. I think I posted it there, that character sheet in that description there. But yeah, so I'm gonna try and go a little faster here, so we can make sure I'm getting caught up. How would you change? Oh, let me read the questions. He must be a dwarf. Varge is British, and he's insulted by my British accent attempt, and it's not Irish. Ah, yeah. See, and then British to Irish to Dracula. Oh, see. Oh man, this is why you need to practice here, guys. So anyway, voice tip video. I'm gonna write that down. Somebody in my patrons, one of my patrons or all of you, send me a DM please to voice acting video as a recommendation to put on the list for everybody to vote on. That'd be interesting. I'd probably make a fool out of myself during it like I did now, but I think that like I hear you guys. Let's go for it. And again, like I'm not a professional, but I think that's part of the key is like I'm not giving you professional tips, or I guess I'm giving you professional tips, but I'm not one myself. I'm trying to make it quick and efficient for you to be able to let you go from no voices to voices, not voices to perfect voices that you could go send off and be in a cartoon, you know. So anyway, let me see what else. I want to see if did I miss anything. Far Off Fantasy. Miniature painting. Okay, cool. I'm just making sure that I'm not missing out anything too much. So how would you change Varge? Okay. Varge says, how would you change bonus actions to make them better if you would? So I think bonus actions do have a purpose in the game. They definitely allow smaller little things to happen instead of, overall big actions. I love what Pathfinder did with having 3 actions, and some things take 2 actions, some things take all 3 actions, some things take 1 action, whatever. I think that's pretty awesome. I mean, that's been the nicest sounding thing that I've ever heard to I guess, answer the question. But I think that was the most interesting way I've heard it, that I think does fix how kind of clunky a bonus action can be, and sometimes you can do stuff with it, sometimes you can't. But in general, how I fix bonus actions is I try and make sure my players always have some sort of option for their bonus action, so it feels like a dynamic choice whenever especially at lower levels, I try and have like, all right, what cool things can each of these players do as a bonus action, So if I have a rogue, okay, cool, their bonus action economy is fine. They have tons of stuff they can do with bonus actions, not worried about them. But if you have something like a barbarian, the early level doesn't have, a frenzied swing or whatever, like I try and give them something to be able to do as a bonus action so they at least can have a choice, but it's not like an automatic, I always do something with the bonus action every time type thing. So, but yeah, I agree bonus actions can be a little clunky. But I think also with my, the other thing I have in one of my homebrew videos about an interaction is sometimes the interaction I do, the interactions I use take up a bonus action. So I let players say, do whatever you want, say whatever you want. What do you want to do? Oh, you want to do this big, huge thing? All right, that's going to take up your bonus action, but let's see what happens. So I think it's a nice little thing as a resource to be able to use. But yeah, so professional tips. Yeah, Yeah, I mean, Stephen Harris said exactly. Can I use my bonus action to do, And yes, sure, right. So, and usually my only little caveat to that is I usually have players not try and barter with me off the bat. I would want a player of mine to come to me and say, here's what I want to do. How can we make it happen? You know what I mean? Instead of like, I want to use my bonus action to do this. And like, they're kind of like, almost like bartering with me. Like, I feel like it's a lot more fluid and flow if a player's like, hey, here's what I want to do. I want to do this. I'm like, all right, well, your action would be this, and we could have this be your bonus action. And then if they didn't agree or whatever, they'd be like, ooh, well, could I use and then we could talk about it instead of this like starting it off with like, I want to do, you know what I mean? That's a whole other side topic though. Caleb had said, if giving your professional tips from a non-professional point of view makes it easier. I agree. Like a lot of times professionals just do it, and they have all these really interesting things that are very advanced, but it takes you from here to here instead of from here to here, like being able to, like I said, just be able to do some voices. So here we go. Marco Pagni, freaking, what is your Pagna Bros. Which rule would you like for 4th edition? My best favorite two: skill challenges and minions. I have not done a video. I have not done a video on minions, but I think minions are awesome, and they're the two best things from 4th edition for sure. Varge, grid or theater of the mind as your main go-to for combat, and how would you run theater of the mind effectively? Ooh, so in general, grid. I think the maps that I've thrown down and being able to try and get some cardboard extra stuff going. I have some maps over there, but I think that gives players it stops the wait, where am I? Wait, how far away? All those little mini questions. Every time your player has to stop and clarify, they're out of the world for a second. That takes away from immersion, right? They're like, wait, oh, I have to. So if we do theater of the mind, the number one thing I say when theater of the mind is I'm way more specific, way more detailed, reiterating where everybody's at, all that kind of stuff. And with theater of the mind, a lot of times I will have a piece of paper with like X's and O and like just move the pieces around, right? Not a grid map, not about, maybe I'll even get their actual minis and I'll get their minis, so I'll put them out and be like, so y'all are about here. And then you want to go over here, now you're over here. We're not actually moving them like grid by grid, turn by turn, all that stuff. But it's just like in general, if they need help seeing where stuff's at. But if not pieces, then it's very, very descriptive. And a lot of times I'll do theater of the mind. If it's a quick and snappy combat, if it's real quick and like you're running through a hallway and a patrol catches you, boom, 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 that's theater of the mind. Boom, we're going. And I'm like, they're here, they're against the wall, and I make sure, and I tell this to my players, make sure you're very descriptive with what you do, and I'll be very descriptive with what they do, and then we're all very descriptive. So I think theater of the mind definitely has a place. Let me get some water here. Theater of the mind definitely has a place in every table, in my table, everywhere. But you got to make sure that you. There we go. You got to make sure that you are very descriptive so players don't get like pulled out of the world and they're like, wait, what? But in general, grid combat, I think it lets people play tactical. It lets players, all right, I'm here. Where can I move? And then like it. That's a lot of times. A lot of people. That's the main reason why they play the game. Is that part. So if that's your players, then yes, do that in general. But if your players aren't as combat heavy, aren't as grid heavy, then do some theater of the mind. And some tables do all theater of the mind. I think that's freaking cool. That'd be great for social distancing. Theater of the mind. Just get a headset, talk to each other, get in FaceTime, and then boom, it's all theater of the mind. How easy is that? That's brilliant. In fact, you know what? I kind of want to try and get some of my friends together and do a theater of the mind D&D. I don't know, that'd be interesting. But again, every time I think about something like that, I'm like, well, I got to get these videos going. I got a new intro video that I'm putting out to the channel now that I've hit 1,000 subscribers. I filmed a new Welcome to the Dungeon Coach video. I got new Patreon tiers coming out. So I got a whole bunch of stuff that I'm doing. So every time I think about something like that, I'm like, so. Yeah, and with all this stuff for school, there's a lot of stuff with school that we have to do as teachers to be able to give digital learning to the kids. So things are freaking crazy busy right now, but theater of mind, that sounds cool. So next. Do you prefer, Mad Madam, do you prefer playing or DMing? DMing. I always prefer to be a DM. It's fun to be a player. It really is. It's really fun to be a player. And a lot of times I have been like a tutorial player. Like I've had a friend, one of my players was DMing his own session, and he had me come to join his session as a player, like a one-shot character, or like a three-shot character. They were in the middle of Lost Mines of Phandelver, and I swept in, whatever. I came in, and I was like a tutorial character, kind of like, when you play video games, and you're like, here's how you jump across this gap. Here's how you climb. Here's how, so I was like put in there for like role play, and I would like try and interact with the characters and draw out emotions and have the character bonds and have some friction and how to overcome that friction, and then like making role play, like making something and giving it to somebody, creative ways to get around combat that doesn't just involve killing everything, and like getting out of a combat with your mind and words instead, so stuff like that. So it's fun to be a player, but for sure, got to be a DM. I love the creation of it. And I also love the style of DMing that I do. My main goal is to set players up to create the best character they possibly can. That's exactly their vision. And that's what I play the game for, to be able to help players accomplish that. Caleb Head. Uh-oh. The cough. Caleb Head. Do you ever use your voices in math? For sure. One of you can see my students would attest to this. I'll do voices all the time in math. Let me see if I can do a Arnold Schwarzenegger. You got the deck of the math. Oh wow. Maybe I shouldn't do a voice video. Ohana means family. Today we're going to add and subtract x's and y's together. Huh? Or, hey, well, hi there. My name's Mickey, and we're gonna multiply today. Yeah. So I'll do that. Turn in your assignments. Turn them in now. Put them on my desk. Put them on my desk. Yeah. There we go. My voices. To do Arnold Schwarzenegger, there's a part in your voice right here. There's a part in your throat right here. You have to let open up and like vibrate. And I couldn't get it till just then. So yeah. So yeah, I do use my voices in the classroom, and I'm sure the kids think I'm crazy, but I guess they like it. Bonus action system, NPCs. Yes. Payne says yes. Bro, what? Okay, so Midnight Raps. What's up, man? How do you remember to describe a room when players first enter? Or how do you remember to describe a room when your players first enter? My players are running around saying, I'm looking over here. They're jumping into the... Okay, yeah. Basically, when players are just running around without their head, with a chicken with the head cut off in a room, they're like, what's going on? What's happening? What? So, I think right when they first walk into a room, if there's something very specific that I have to be careful how to say, like there's a hidden thing, there's a twist, kind of like we referenced earlier, like how do you add twists? If there's something that's very important, but I don't want them to know it's very important and I want to hide it. If there's something big going on, or potentially big going on, or something that's like it's an important room, I will write down bullet points. I will write down bullet points of what things are in the room, just to describe it. And if there's something that's very important, I will say the very important thing, and then say something else, and like hide it in there, right? But I describe enough things so that they don't walk into the room, I'm like, there's a pedestal with a green gem on it. and that's it. I would describe some sort of from the ceilings. You see some spider webs that are hanging across. They're broken in some places. Some of them look fresh, depending on the perception or anything like that. I guess. Also perception. Oh, that's a whole nother topic. But in general, if somebody walked into the room, I wouldn't just be like, everyone make a perception check. Like, I used to do that all the time. And if I made a DM mistake video with like the most mistakes to not repeat and do over and over again, I used to ask for these massive group checks. Everyone make a perception check. Everyone make a this check. Everyone. So now it would be like, okay, you walk into the room, and if anyone specifically, I want to look at the ceiling and blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. They make a perception check. But I would describe things generically, because how many times have we as DMs been playing a game, or you as a player's been playing a game, and you roll like a 2, and the DM's still going to tell you the thing he was going to tell you anyway. So a lot of times I just don't even ask for that roll. Just tell them what they see. They're standing there. They're looking around. Like, what do you see? At minimum. And that kind of speeds things up too. So I'll describe those things, and if there's something important, I'll make sure that I'm good with it. If not, I just describe, the things that are in the room. And in general, I describe, like when they first enter into a like lair or a dungeon or a tavern or something, I'll describe something generic overall. And usually I try and give at least one little quirk or flair to it. Like if they walk into a tavern, I just want to say, you walk into a tavern. I would walk into a tavern and pull something out of nowhere. There's chairs dangling from the ceiling. That's strange. Like, there's chairs dangling from the ceiling. Some people are sitting in the chairs, and there's also floating tables. There's chains to the ceiling with tables, and chains to the ceiling with chairs, and people are like floating around in chairs with a table, and they're like eating on the table, and wow, that's great. And that would be like the thing that's up in the ceiling, and then I describe whatever or I just leave it at that. Like, it's really strange, but then there is floor seating, there's a bar top, there's a this, there's a that, done. And then what do you guys do? Do they want to go sit in a chair? Why are those chairs? How do they get up there? Anyway, so next one, Abyss Keeper. Question: what 2 D&D magic items would you like to see fused together in your new elements? What 2 items do I want to see fused together? Interesting. Disclaimer here. One of the biggest things that I'd say, I'm very transparent with my strengths and my weaknesses. I do not have an encyclopedic knowledge of items in Dungeons and Dragons. There are people that are far better than that at me, because in general, and this sounds maybe crazy to say, in general, I don't use them like straight up out of the book. I will take them as inspiration. I'll take them as a focal point. I've taken the Belt of Dwarven Kind, and I've made items of all of the races. Like, I've taken Belt of Dwarven Kind. There was a Ring of Humanity. There was like a gnomish slippers. Like whatever, Belt of the Gnomish, you get the idea. It's in my digital DM pull app thing. But that inspires me to make other items. You know what I mean? So to throw out 2 items there, we'll say Belt of Dwarven Kind. This is a boring one, but the Gauntlets of Ogre Strength is the only other one that's popping in my head right now. But Displacement Cloak. See, this is legitimately like I don't use, because I homebrew my items. I just straight up homebrew my items. So I don't know items off the top of my head. I really want to answer this question though. So I'm gonna say Belt of Dwarven Kind, and the Manta Ray Cloak. Boom, done. I love the Manta Ray Cloak. I don't know if it's called the Manta Ray Cloak, but Manta Ray Cloak. So you should know what I'm talking about. Those 2 items. Match those together. I'd like to see that. Belt of the Manta, or the Cape of, I don't know. That'd be interesting. But the for real part to that though is I definitely want to be transparent with my strengths and weaknesses of item generation. I can homebrew, and you give me a concept you want to be able to get across. Like, I want my player to be able to do this thing, or I think this character, it'd be interesting to see what my players would do with this item. Here you go. A force hammer that whenever you hit somebody deals, they make a strength saving throw, and if they fail it, they get sent back 6 squares, so 30 feet. They get sent back 6 squares, and for every square they don't move, if they hit into a wall, they roll an extra 1d4. There's an example of, I could pull up those items all day from things that I've just made for my players or on the spot, or for people that have asked, my patrons that have asked, that have helped on Patreon. But that's a cool item, because you can, like, if someone's right next to a wall and you boom, bang, hit them into the wall, it does more damage than if you just send them back. But if you want to get them away from you, just send them back. So anyway, there's some stuff on items. Wrapping it up here now. Payne, how are you handle social distancing? Yeah, it's a thing now, man. So my wife is, she does rush classes, like, and I used to do these Camp Gladiator classes where you like go work out. Those are all shut down now. So it's all like Zoom apps that I have that I just sit there and work out in the garage. Or she has a bike now that we got and put in the front. So gotta stay away with that. Groceries or pick up, everything's like delivery. We've been using DoorDash a lot. Swan Man. I don't know if that's anywhere else in the world, but man, it's like this food truck delivery service, which is amazing. But yeah, it's been really interesting. A lot of Skype meetings at school. So social distancing, it's a thing. The last question we got is Benjamin Blackhurst. What do you think about E6 campaigns? If anyone isn't familiar with the idea, an E6 campaign is one where you only get to 6th level. Love it. I would say, and so now I'm going to close out Discord now, fellas, and I'm back to just this now, so I'm 100% in chat now. So patrons, thank you again. That was brilliantly smooth. I wasn't just like, wait 1 second, sorry, let me. So nice work. So I lost my train of thought now that I just said that. I think that's great. I think sixth level is a pretty good level to stop at, because 7th level they start getting a lot more powerful, more access to higher level spells, access to spells that can break the game. My best example is teleportation. As soon as your players can teleport, travel becomes non-existent. They have access to anywhere. They can get out of places. They can go to places. That's crazy huge. As soon as they have access to certain types of spells, like one of my players, he had Simulacrum, and he could make, or in Clone, and he could make, like, he made a duplicate of himself, and then at night, and then whenever, see, this is what gets crazy. One of my players made a copy of himself, and then he had 2 of himself, and then he cast at higher level, he cast True Polymorph on that thing to make him real, and then now he had a version of himself, and he's like, I could do this over and over again. But as a quick DM save there, part of the campaign that I had built is these gods. I think I referenced this earlier. These gods that weren't really gods, right? They had a certain amount of power, and every time that they used that power, it made them weaker if the thing died. So here's my example, is one of the gods it made a Titan. Again, these aren't gods, these are very strong players. So they made a Titan. This effectively would be like the True Polymorph spell, or like a summon spell of some kind. Is they made this Titan, they had 3 Titans, right? And his power level was here, and he had 3 Titans. But once you killed one of the Titans, his power level dropped. And once you kill the other Titan, his power level dropped, and once you kill the other Titan, his power level dropped. So that's the risk that higher level, 9th level spell magic was if you use this big stuff, there was a cost potentially. So he did some research, and through his research, he was a chronomancy wizard, so he already kind of had that whole knowledge thing going. But he knew he could do that. He totally could do that. And I always love to let my player, I say yes to my players all the time. But there's a caveat, or trying to make sure that there's some sort of in-game ramifications for it, is he could make multiple copies, but if any of those copies died, he would get weaker. And I straight up told him at one point, because a lot of times I will explain in-game mechanics through actual real-life concepts, because players understand that. I was like, you would literally de-level. You would literally level down, and you would go down to level 18, or I think it was 19 at the time. So yeah, he'd go down to level 18. oh, you could level back up, but like you go back down, you lose the level. And he's like, whoa, okay, whoa. So he did not break the game because he was afraid of some big ramifications, you know what I mean? But I had to come up with that as a DM to protect my own game, to protect the story, to protect the game. Like, you're gonna break the game if you make infinite copies of yourself. That's insane. So anyway, so that was a little real ranty there, but there you go. So multi-man, all of them. He could have kept doing it, and then his copies could have done that too because they had access to those spells. So yeah, and for sure, Magic having a cost. There is actually, I don't know if I want to bust it out in this live stream. I'm gonna save it for it's the biggest thing that I'm the most nervous about making a video on is a new Magic system that I have that changes the entire Magic system. So there's the big plug on that. So anyway, gonna wrap it up here now. The cool announcements that's going on here is the Master of None giveaway ends in March 27th, so 2 days, March 27th. The video I did of multi-classing, it's at 125 likes-ish right now. So every 50 likes unlocks another copy that I'm going to give out. And so stay tuned for that. Patreon, I'm doing 2 giveaways. I didn't mean to do 2 giveaways at once, but the Patreon giveaway I'm doing ends in 3 days, I guess. It ends the 28th. And that's where the winner is I'm going to pick from all my patrons. The Patreon only giveaway. All you got to do is be a patron. And once that happens, I'm going to pick randomly from there. And that person's going to do a video with me. They're going to get a straight up pick a topic of a video. They're like, I want you to do a video on this. Because how I pick my videos is my patrons vote on them. Like, we have a list that we give them, and they pick one, and then I make a video on that. So that's the new thing there that's gonna happen with that giveaway. And then all those winners will be announced on Facebook and Discord. Facebook and Discord is gonna be where to stay tuned for that. Those announcements of who wins. There'll be 2 Patreon winners right now. I'm at 26 patrons. If we get to 30, then that's gonna be more. But after that opens up, I'm changing all the Patreon tiers after that. But there's that. And then also I'm doing another giveaway from a sponsor we got, the Crimson Tome. It's like blood themed classes, all blood classes. And then yeah, the page. Oh yeah, so as soon as the Patreon thing's over, I'm doing a whole new overhaul of all the brand new tiers, different reward tiers for that. And then the last thing I can think of is this week's video is going to be I'm going to be posting a new, this is kind of big. I'm going to post a new Welcome to the Dungeon Coach video. It's going to be like 56 seconds long. I try to make it a little shorter than last time. It's our new goal. It's our new, hey, this is the channel. So that would be the thing maybe to share with your friends. Like, hey, like this guy? He's crazy. He's got energy. He does dance moves. Hey, does he do dance moves? Hey, does he do dance moves? Yeah, he does dance moves. What? Oh, it like blurs my face too. Okay. Oh no, it's not stopping. I'm sorry. Okay. There we go. Okay. So anyway, share that with people. That'd be awesome. Appreciate that. New Patreon video also on April 1st. And then the video this week is going to be on how to incorporate players' backstories into the actual story. Like, player backstories into the campaign itself. So that's going to be fun. And then, what else? Do it, bust it, get it. Hey, if we had some, if things are going crazy, I might just stand up and move this chair out of the way and start embarrassing my wife with my dance moves. Dang. So then, incorporating player backstories into that. I'm doing a collaboration with Matthew Perkins over DM screens and a custom DM screen. That's going to be a bonus video. I got the Crimson Tome coming out as far as that review and trying to give away copies of that with another sponsor. And then the next video after that is a homebrew. A homebrew. Oh no, it's my resurrection video. Resurrection video on the homebrew resurrections thing I do. I did a homebrew death rules video, which has been my best video so far. And I got a a homebrew resurrection system. That's going to be next, and then more to come. So these are super fun. I'm going to try and do these like every 2 weeks or something. Every 2 weeks or something. I don't know. Right. I think as the demand for them is more, I'll do them more. But they're just fun to do. I love talking to you guys and answering your questions, helping out when I can, all that stuff. So 2 weeks from now, I'll do another live stream. Stay tuned for that. Patrons, you still get to ask those questions first in the chat. And other than that, stay creative. Think outside that box. Later, guys. Now I gotta press buttons and figure out how to end this thing. Live. Press that. Just press extra. Mute. No, I don't want to share it. Oh, I should have shared it. Man, there's a share button. I should have shared it on Facebook. I messed up. Oh well. Here we go. I think I found it. Later, guys.